friends at Mint Mobile. I am, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an awesome honor and privilege, as it is every day, to have you, our international friends, gather around as we talk about our favorite things in the world, movies and movie news, TV and streaming. I'm joined by Robert Meyer Burnett. Sitting back over there, we got Ray Ora right beside him. We got Taylor running the show. Jonathan Voikel's got the day off today, but most importantly, you are here, and we are so glad you decided to make this show part of your day. And listen, guys, we got a whole bunch of stuff we need to talk about, but before we get to any of it, it's game day.
Game day.
It is Cocaine Bear Day. Gonna go see Cocaine Bear tonight, and what do my wondering eyes perceive? Head on over to my page there, Taylor. Cocaine Bear is holding a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
What the hell is happening in the world today? 100%. Now, of course, it's just to temper that a little bit. It's got 11 reviews. That's all right. More are going to come in later today. I have no doubt. I'm calling it right here, right now. Take this to the bank. This thing's going to hold 100% up to 300 reviews. It's going to hold 100%.
That's a bold statement.
100%.
Son.
$1 billion, baby.
$1 billion at the box office, a $400 million opening weekend, and a
Cocaine's
100%
so good,
Rotten
baby.
Tomatoes meeting.
I just hope this means that pure cocaine is going to be available to audiences these days.
You know how they give out when you go to like a Thor movie, sometimes movie theater will give you a little Thor poster.
Yeah,
little
yeah.
thing. When you go to this movie here, they're handing out little packets of cocaine.
You mean
actual
baggies,
cocaine?
John.
Without
The
fentanyl
correct
in it.
term is
It'll be
baggy.
great.
What's it called? A baggie?
A baggie.
There. Okay, sorry. Actual Colombian grade baggies. Just little ones.
Or a bindle.
Just little ones for the little kid size. Get the kids ready to go for Cocaine Bear.
The straws are gonna be empty tonight.
Where'd all the straws go?
We're out of straws.
Dude, that's why you bring hundies with you. You got to carry the hundies to do it
Running out
right.
of straws.
Come on.
All right, guys. We do have a bunch of things we're going to talk about here. The glory of Cocaine Bear, of course. But let's get into some other stuff, too. We're going to start with this. You know, MCU was really starting to load up their dance card on Disney Plus, like a lot. They were putting out a lot of content. Of course, we talked recently that now that the sheriff is back in town, Big Papa Iger, he said, "Okay, whoa, little doggies, let's pull this back a little bit. Let's slow our roll a little bit." And we've heard about several projects that were projects like Echo and one or two others that they were aiming to have come out in 2023. And now they're saying there's only really two that are guaranteed. We heard this last week. One is going to be Secret Invasion, and one is going to be Loki season 2. Those are guaranteed to come out. Now, there were a couple of projects that they still weren't sure. Like, we knew Echo was getting bumped, and Daredevil was definitely not going to come out in 2023. I don't know if it ever was.
What if season 2?
What if season 2? I think I heard that was getting bumped. But one of the shows that was still a little bit in limbo, like they hadn't said it was moving, they hadn't said it was going to still come out, was Agatha Coven of Chaos. Well, now, not surprisingly, there are reports going around online, let's call them rumors even, that it's now been decided that Agatha and the Coven of Chaos is going to be moved out of its 2023 release window. This, despite the fact that, according to reports, they actually had already started shooting. But the whispers going around are that there are story issues, and they decided, you know what? Instead of just, whatever, we're shooting now, let's just keep going and do it. Instead of doing that, they've decided to put on the brakes and say, you know what? We've got 2 Disney Plus shows coming out this year already, and they're going to be pretty major ones with Loki and Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion is going to be a major one, by the way. Won't hurt us to span this out a little bit. Let's put on the brakes. Now, again, needs to be clarified. We here on the John Campea Show cannot verify because this is not coming from the studio. It's not coming from one of the principals. But it's one of these things where every once in a while a report or a rumor comes out that you cannot verify, but it does line up with all the information we have. And all the information we've had is that Iger was looking to stretch these things out. They were the only ones that we knew were guaranteed to come out in 2023 were Secret Invasion and Loki. This kind of adds up. The one kind of thing that makes this a little bit different was that it was actually in the process of shooting, from what we understand. And listen, Rob, I'm not going to lie. Out of Secret Invasion, Loki, Echo, What If Season 2, Agatha Coven of Chaos is one I've been looking forward to the most. That's the one I've been looking forward to most. So I'm a little bit bummed out by this. What do you think?
I loved her in WandaVision.
Yeah, me too.
I thought she was great. And I love her as an actress. And it does kind of bum me out. But I'll tell you something. If that's true, if this report's true, and they realized early on that they had story problems, good on them for stopping production. And I'm hoping they learn from things like She-Hulk. And I think that Agatha, this is not, I would imagine, an easy show to mount, because what is the tone of this?
Yeah.
Is it going to be funny? And if it's not funny, they're dealing with the suit. I mean, this looks kind of funny.
Agatha, to me, being played by Catherine Hahn, was a hilarious character.
Yeah, and I think
way funnier than She-Hulk was.
way funnier. But they're going to have to strike a balance, because
How great is Catherine Hahn, by the way?
she's great.
Awesome.
I love her. And she's great. She's really funny. Her comedic timing is top notch. But I think that they have a real issue here. I mean, coming off of Werewolf by Night, which they delved into the supernatural, and you've got Blade coming. I think they're going to have to be really, the tone of this show has to be a hard one to get correct. And I think it's great that they've done what they've done. I think it's a good thing. But when are they, I want to see, John, as you know, I'm deliriously excited for Secret Invasion. They haven't even dated it, have they?
Well, I'm not worried. I think Secret Invasion,
I just want to see it.
Yeah, I think we're going to get, I've seen a little bit of it. I think we're going to get an announcement before or at CinemaCon.
Right.
And even though like it's just going to be a quick mention, because CinemaCon is obviously dealing with theater owners. Theater owners don't give two squirts of piss about what's coming on Disney Plus.
Right.
But I think probably in their overall presentation, there'll probably be a passing mention. But see, I'm not so worried about it, because it's becoming kind of normal for Netflix, for Disney Plus, whatever, for streaming shows not to give an official announcement of the official launch date until sometimes 5 weeks out.
Yeah. I'm just curious, because we saw that first trailer a long time ago.
Yeah. I think it'll be second quarter. I think it'll be, let's put it, I think we're going to see it before August.
Yeah,
I think Secret Invasion will be on Disney Plus before August.
Yeah. I mean, they do have, you got Quantumania now, you got Guardians in May.
Yep.
And because Marvel's has been moved out of the July slot, I'm sure it would not surprise me if that's when Secret Invasion is going to drop.
I agree. All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Apparently, the WandaVision spinoff, Agatha, Coven of Chaos, has unfortunately been bumped out of 2023, although maybe at the end of the day, that might be a very good thing if they do realize, hey, this isn't as good as it can be. Let's retool. Let's take a step back and retool. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's get into another story here, shall we? And that one is this. The official sales numbers have not yet come out, to the best of my knowledge. But Hogwarts Legacy, as a game, was already a smash success. We talked the other week about how it already broke the all-time Twitch record for most concurrent viewers.
By a wide margin.
By a pretty decent margin. Now they're saying that it's topped 267 million hours played, which already surpasses anything like from the video side of things with Fantastic Beasts. Now, because of all this success, they are now talking about the fact that there are reports going around that they are actually now looking at, and now these are just reports, these aren't coming from the Wrap or Deadline, but these are completely believable, that HBO is now, and Warner Brothers is looking at possibly serializing Hogwarts Legacy to be an HBO series. Now, the reason I believe this, and I would have believed this without reports anyway, is because we already know a couple things to be true. Number one, David Zaslav is very, very serious about trying to get the Wizarding World of Harry Potter up and running again. Number two, the ridiculous popularity of this game already. My wife's been playing it. She's been having a blast with it. Absolute blast with it. And here's why I think this could be significantly more successful than Fantastic Beasts was. And by the way, I say this as somebody who enjoyed the Fantastic Beasts films. I did. I enjoyed them. I enjoyed them more and more. I like the first one. I like the second one more. I like the third one the most. I've enjoyed them. I mean, there haven't been like world breakers for me or anything, but I've enjoyed them. But as somebody who's enjoyed them, I believe a Hogwarts Legacy series can be by multiples more successful. And that is this, and we kind of touched on this once before. One of the big problems I believe with trying to catch on with all the fan base for Fantastic Beasts was the fact that, yeah, we knew you couldn't have the main characters from the Harry Potter films. Okay, we knew that. But they took you away from home. And home for Harry Potter fans is Hogwarts. I mean, the fact that we had a viewer question right in a while ago saying, do you think if they just did something, but it was based in Hogwarts, it could be more successful? I said, 100% absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I remember being in the theater for that last Fantastic Beasts film and they go to Hogwarts, you could feel the energy in the room from the Potter fans. They just loved that they were back there. There's a reason why the Wizarding World at Universal Studios Hollywood, like when you go to Universal Studios, like half the people there are in Hogwarts robes and scarves. And I'm not just talking about the kids. I'm talking about the grown-ass adults too. And everybody walks in there and they're in awe and wonder because they're home. You know what I mean? And I think any story that just focuses around Hogwarts itself and that land, if you will, and instead of taking you into modern day London or whatever, I think that has a huge potential to be successful. I think one of the reasons why this game is catching on as big as it is. Anyway, Rob, look at that. I like the Star Wars land at Disney, Galaxy's Edge, they call it. You walk in there and it is wondrous. They've done a very, very good job there. But it does not compare to when you walk into the Wizarding World at Universal. You actually feel like you are there in the movie.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Dude, I've been there at least 20 times. Stood in that spot at least 20 times. And I'm not even a huge Potter fan, and I look up at that and I'm filled with that awe and wonder they want to capture. And I think that's part of the reason this game's been so successful. Anyway, Rob, the question is to you, like, let's put the validity of the rumors aside for a moment.
Sure.
If you're HBO and you're Warner Brothers, looking at the success that this game has had so far, are you seriously considering kind of trying to develop maybe into an HBO series?
Hell yeah. I mean, what everyone's looking for IP. You know, Harry Potter is one of the strongest IPs perhaps ever to exist in entertainment. And you're looking at something, I mean, the great thing about Hogwarts is it's, as far as production goes, it's not like Game of Thrones where you're shooting in Dubrovnik and Spain, right. And you shoot on sets. You know, it's a closed environment because you're going to be at Hogwarts. I mean, sure, you'll leave Hogwarts occasionally, but as far as you have your audience that's built in. You've got the game. I mean, what's it going to be about? Well, we happen to have this video game that people are playing for millions of hours, billions of hours by the time they get around to announcing it, and it's all right there. And like you said, it's home. It's and you have built in a cast from all over the world. You know, you've got, I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. As a matter of fact, not only is it not a no-brainer, it is, as Thanos would say, inevitable. I mean, they're going to make this show. They're going to make the show. I mean, I'm convinced of that. And just like one day there's going to be another Harry Potter movie that stars that original cast. But I think we'll get this TV series first. I think they're going to announce it. I'll bet you in the next 6 months.
Oh, you think they'll move that fast
Yeah.
on it? You know what? I wouldn't bet against it. I wouldn't bet against you on that. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? The success of the game has been outstanding, and now there's whispers and rumors that HBO might be looking at maybe developing it into a series of some sorts. I think it could be much more successful than, say, Fantastic Beasts, just for the fact that it's going to be based around Hogwarts itself. I'm not a big Potterhead, though. Maybe some of you are, and you would know better than me. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's get on to this. You know, we have been waiting for a while for the true post-pandemic era of theaters and the movie theater industry to return. Because as we said year and a half, 2 years ago, Rob, that even once the pandemic is in the rearview mirror, we are going to be feeling the long tail effects of the pandemic because of production and rearranged schedules and getting people back in the habit of going to the movie. We said for a long time we were still going to be living in the effects of the pandemic. And while we've had the odd big major hit, A24 had their biggest film of all time with Everything Everywhere All at Once. Spider-Man No Way Home made $1.9 billion. Top Gun Maverick came out, made $1.4 billion at the box office. There has still been clear signs that we're not out of the pandemic drudgery yet. But as we talked on the show yesterday, March, this is a packed month for movies, man. You get into April, May, June. I mean, we are looking at schedule-wise, getting back into pre-pandemic era releases. But now IMAX, an industry leader in the world of the theatrical industry, they are now forecasting that we are going to see the box office this year return to pre-pandemic eras, pre-pandemic numbers, they said. We'll go over to my screen here for a second. They said the following. They said, IMAX said today that it expects to return to its pre-pandemic gross box office level of $1.1 billion. This is just for IMAX in 2023, even as it reported revenue of $98 million for last year's fourth quarter, down 10% from the year before. Earnings per share fell to 19 cents from 31 cents. I'm going to be probably myself buying some IMAX stock. CEO Rich Glenfold attributed the dip to the Chinese box office, which is critical to IMAX, and was still in recovery mode until late last year. Avatar: The Way of Water opened in mid-December, day and date in China, where the market surged since, he said. With a 180-degree turn in just a few months, the film, the highest grossing first-run IMAX release of all time with more than $253 million, basically reopened and jump-started the Chinese market, Glenfold said during a conference call. So IMAX here, who's a major player in the film, I mean, they're not AMC, and but they're a different kind of thing. They're saying, when we look at the release schedule and we look at the audience patterns, we believe that this is the year that finally we get back to the pre-pandemic numbers. Rob, I've also believed that 2023 is going to be the year we get back to the pre-pandemic numbers, but there's a big gap between belief and seeing it. And I think this month, well, I don't believe there's any billion-dollar films coming out in March. I don't believe any of them are billion-dollar films.
No.
But when you look at the lineup we have coming in March, Creed, Shazam, John Wick, I mean, it goes on. I think we're going to get a good indicator of where we're really at, because this is going to be the first month in a long time that we've truly had a fully fleshed out release month of movies. And we're going to get an idea, because if these films all perform well, I think it bodes well. If all these films come in where Shazam does less than the first Shazam, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. If John Wick 4 doesn't do as well as the other John Wick films, if Creed 3 does not do as well as the other Creeds, that could be a worrisome sign. But anyway, what do you think about IMAX's prediction, and do you think they're right?
Yes, dude. I mean, this is all good. And IMAX, I'll tell you something. The more people, I love the fact that I just like going to IMAX theaters to see movies on the biggest screen possible, even
Right.
if they're not shot in IMAX. You know, I was at the premiere for Picard season 3, and they show the first 2 episodes on that IMAX screen at the Chinese theater.
Oh, wow.
And seeing it big like that, it just makes it more fun. I mean, when I was a kid, I'd go to there really weren't multiplexes. There were the single big box screens, and then a lot of them were multiplexed out. God bless Nicole Kidman. But nowadays, going back to those theaters, I'll see anything at those IMAX theaters. But I think that, John, when was the last time we had you know what the thing about this schedule for March is? Beginning with Cocaine Bear. These movies are all fun. You know, they're not movies it's not like Merchant Ivory presents The Remains of the Day 2. You know, it's not something like that. We're getting Creed. We're getting John Wick. We've got Quantumania. We got Cocaine Bear. It's a party.
Scream 6.
Scream 6. It's a party at the movie theaters again. And so every time you're going, everyone's going to see kick-ass fun movies. It puts a smile on your face. You know, you're not going to watch, not that I would go, I love Schindler's List, but it's not that. We're getting a bunch, I'm telling you, that's what they should do. They should launch a campaign. It's a party at your multiplex. This week, Cocaine Bear. I mean, and we've got that every month. March, April, May, June, July. See, I'm partying just like that tonight at the theater. I mean, it's great. I think it's great. And I think IMAX is going to be one of the biggest beneficiaries, because so many people have gone to IMAX cinemas to see Way of Water that they're going to go back and see whatever's there, because the presentation's so great.
By the way, and then in April, we're looking at things like Evil Dead Rise.
Oh, yeah.
Which looks baller. We got Mario coming out, Super Mario World. We've got Renfield, which I think is going to be a surprising little hit.
Yeah.
I think because that trailer, I think, was bonkers. Then we got the first trailer yesterday for The Pope's Exorcist, which I am now suddenly very enthused about. And that's all just April. Anyway, if things look good, guys, question is for you. IMAX is saying that 2023 will be the year that we return back to pre-pandemic form. Do you agree with them? Do you think it's still a little bit off? Maybe it's 2024, or do you think March, April, May, these will be the months that tell us definitively? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's take a second here and go to our Mint Mobile hotline question of the day. If you guys have a question for us and you'd like to hear your voice on our phone, go ahead and call it on in at 951-268-4259. And now we've got a question here about the upcoming Ryan Reynolds film on the Ryan Reynolds Mint Mobile hotline, Deadpool 3. Check it out.
Hey, John. This is Caleb Jacobs. I was calling to ask you something about Deadpool 3. Do you think Morena Baccarin, who plays Vanessa in the first two Deadpool movies, will be in the third one too? Do you think it'll be last minute, or do you think she'll just appear on it again? Thank you, and be on the Fluffy.
Now, wait a minute. Help me out here. What's the name of the character from Rogue One, played by Academy Award winner? Why am I?
Oh, Forrest Whitaker?
Yeah, played by, what's the name of Forrest?
Saw Gerrera.
Play that message. Tell me that wasn't Saw Gerrera. Hold on a second. I think Forrest Whitaker called in. Do we still have it?
You want to play it again? Okay.
Yeah, just play the first bit of it here.
Hey, John. This is Caleb Jacobs. I was
Saw Gerrera's calling in. Anyway, thanks for calling in, Caleb. Okay. So, look, I said on this show, and I've said before, that aside from the news, and I remember I was working at AMC, I was by myself in the storage room closet when the news broke that Disney had bought Lucasfilm and they were going to make new Star Wars movies. Okay, that was the biggest news I've ever covered in my career. But I honestly believe that the second biggest piece of news was that Deadpool 3 is coming with Hugh Jackman returning as Wolverine, and we as fans were finally going to see Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds on screen together. And that is seriously, and I don't say that with any hyperbole, that is seriously how excited I am about this, and to me, how big this news is. This is now going to be $1 billion film on its own. So that I have no doubt. But one of the questions that a lot of people have been wondering about is, what about Morena Baccarin, who I would propose is an essential part of the Deadpool story. Because even in the second film, when she quote unquote died, she was still at the very heart and center of every ounce of motivation the character had, right? Everything about his emotional state to what his objectives were and all that kind of stuff. It all kind of revolved around Vanessa. And by the way, I love her.
Oh, yeah.
I loved her ever since Firefly. And then, of course, she reprised her role in Serenity. I even liked her in V. I liked her in Gotham.
Great.
She's great. I love her. She's delightful. She's beautiful. She's a fantastic talent. And I love the chemistry that her and Ryan Reynolds have together on screen. And so that has been a big question about whether or not she'll be back. Now, look, we have no official word at this point. We have very few. The only two people we know for a fact, well, there's a third one now, but the two people we know for a fact are Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, and they just announced who was going to be the villain of the film, or at least one of the villains of the film. And I can't remember the actress's name, but at any rate, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I would put my 5 internet dollars down on that Baccarin will be in Deadpool 3. Again, I just think they have made her such an integral part of the character of Deadpool that it's difficult for me to envision. Now, look, I'm not saying they couldn't find a way to make it work without her. I fully trust that they could. If we find out tomorrow that Deadpool 3 will not have her in it, I'll still have all the faith in the world of the movie. But for right now, where I'm sitting, it's difficult for me to imagine Deadpool feeling like Deadpool without her being there too. And so I'm going to go out on a limb, Rob, and I'm going to say, yes, she will be in Deadpool. How big or how small of a role, I don't know, but I think she's going to be there. Rob, what do you think?
100%.
100%.
100% she's going to be there. She has to be there. Like you said, for the reasons you just laid out. She's part of the heart and soul of this franchise. Just like I am convinced they're going to make some kind of ad campaign that it looks like it's going to be X-Men Origins Wolverine 2. Because, starring Ryan Reynolds, because they did the first. They're going to do that too. I am convinced.
That's pretty funny if they did.
I know. I'm convinced she's going to be in the film because look, even if it's a flashback or it's a montage, or even if she shows up Dexter style and offers wise pearls of advice to Wade, I could see it happening. She's going to be in the movie.
What was the final? I can't remember. What was she was officially back right by the end of Deadpool 2.
Yeah, and he's gone through timelines.
Yeah, he's been going through timelines.
There's no reason why he couldn't have gone to a timeline and got her back.
Of course, this is Deadpool. They wouldn't even need that excuse. They
No.
could just say she's still there. He could just look at the camera and say, "Yeah, she never died. Okay, can we move on?" Like he could totally just say that to the camera.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's funny. It's good. That was a good impression.
Actually, hey,
Look, we're twinsies, John.
let me say. I mean, we got roughly the same
I
colors.
almost wore this color too. I have a jacket this color. I was this close to wearing it this morning.
It was a good thing you didn't, because I literally would have sent you home. So go home, get changed. Hey, Ray, can you put up a poll in the live chat? Just put up a poll and ask people if they think that Vanessa will return in Deadpool 3. I want to see what you guys think in the live chat about this. We'll come back to it in a bit. But anyway, guys, for now, question is for you. What do you think about this? Do you think, hey, listen, Vanessa was a great character, but they totally don't need her to be able to move forward? Do you think, kind of like me, well, she's kind of an essential character to the Deadpool character? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, we're going to take just a minute here to thank a couple of the sponsors of the John Campea Show here today, our friends at MasterClass, and of course, Ryan Reynolds' own Mint Mobile. We want to thank a sponsor of this video, MasterClass. MasterClass offers classes on a wide variety of topics, all taught by world-class instructors at the very top of their fields. Each class is broken out into individual video lessons, usually around 10 minutes long. And MasterClass is completely accessible on your phone, the web, smart TV, and available via audio mode to listen to classes on the go. They have over 2,500 video lessons from over 180 of today's most brilliant minds. They're all available anytime, anywhere on iOS, Android, desktop, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku. Now, obviously around here on the John Campea Show, we love our movies, so why not learn filmmaking from Jodie Foster, or maybe directing from Ron Howard himself, or the great Neil Gaiman doing his masterclass on the art of storytelling. And you guys have heard me talk about my favorite masterclass, Business Strategy and Leadership by Big Papa Iger himself, Bob Iger, the new and returning CEO of Disney. So guys, I highly recommend that you check it out. Get unlimited access to every class, and as a John Campea Show listener, you get 15% off an annual membership. Just go to masterclass.com/Campea now. That's masterclass.com/Campea for 15% off Masterclass. We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. If saving more and spending less is one of your top goals for 2023, why are you still paying insane amounts of money every month for your phone bill? Switching to Mint Mobile is the easiest way to save this year. As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you order from home and save a ton with phone plans starting at just $15 a month. You guys know I made the switch over to Mint Mobile a while ago. The process couldn't have been easier, and I can't believe that I am spending less than a third of what I was spending on one of the other major carriers before. By going online only and eliminating the traditional costs of retail, Mint Mobile passes the significant savings on to you. All plans come with unlimited talk, text, and high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and switch easily in minutes with eSIM. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. And thank you to our friends at MasterClass and, of course, Mint Mobile for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. Remember, guys, when you go and check out and support our sponsors, you're actually supporting us. So if you look down in the description of this video right at the top, you'll find links and promo codes to all of today's sponsors. And thank you again to MasterClass and Mint Mobile. All right, guys, quick update. Breaking news. It's Cocaine Bear Watch update. Last we checked in, Cocaine Bear was holding 100% with 11 reviews. It is now at 13 reviews and still holding 100%.
Yeah.
We will be tracking this story all day. Stay tuned. Cocaine Bear Watch. All right. With that down, guys, let's go back into our Mint Mobile hotline as we're going to kind of follow up on a topic we talked about yesterday about the possibility of an Avatar series, but maybe if they did it another way. Check it out.
Hey crew, I was listening to today's episode while driving to work, but I just got done listening to the segment about James Cameron commenting on how expensive it would be if he ever wanted to make a series for Avatar. But we do live in a world where we've had multiple animated Star Wars series. We have franchises that were originally live action and made for adults that are switched to a new medium so that they can make them for cheaper and maybe even target at a younger audience. My question is, do you think it would make any sense for Disney to try to produce an animated show based off of Avatar? Love to know your thoughts. Thanks.
All right, man. Thanks a lot for calling that in. You know, we did talk yesterday about the fact that James Cameron came out and said, yeah, don't be counting on any Avatar Disney Plus series. The technology is just not there where you could do it in a cost-effective way. It would be insurmountably expensive, very prohibitively expensive. Can't possibly do it. Okay. Well, what if, as our caller brings up, you went like the Star Wars Clone Wars route, where you do some, let's call it economical animation, you know, a less expensive, easier to do style of animation. You make kind of your Avatar stuff that way. Would that be enough for to draw a huge audience to say like a Disney Plus? To me, there are two significant problems. And now look at that animation style and try to imagine an Avatar like that. There's two significant problems, I think. The first problem, which kills it right away. In the words of Vincent McMahon, there is no chance in hell that James Cameron gives an okay to that. There is absolutely zero chance in hell that James Cameron would ever sign off on that. Now, you could say, well, you know, Disney owns it. They kind of could. If you think for 1 second they would do anything to threaten their relationship with the filmmaker who made 3 of the 4 top box office films of all time, you are smoking something stronger than Ray's got right now. Okay. Because there is no way they will even dream of stepping on James Cameron's toes. And there is no chance in hell even that James Cameron would ever greenlight something like that. Not a chance. Okay, but let's put that aside. Let's say for whatever reason, James Cameron goes, whatever, sure, go ahead. I don't care. Okay, but then you got another problem. Unlike, say, Star Wars, which is a fantastical world and all that kind of stuff, the smack you in the face awe and wonder of Pandora and that world and the Na'vi is very much a part of the experience of watching Avatar.
100%.
And yeah, the story, I particularly thought the story in the second one was superior to the one in the first one. I really do like the characters, and you could still have the story and you could still have the characters. And like we always say, story is the most important thing. Absolutely. But movies are experiential events, and just the visuals and the world building of Avatar is proportionally a larger part of that experience than for most movies. And for that reason, number one, James Cameron would never greenlight it, but even if he did, it would not nearly recapture the magic that the live action stuff does. So I would personally say no, they wouldn't do it. Rob, what do you think?
I agree with you 100%. I think actually doing an animated show, first of all, if James Cameron said, I'm done with Avatar, I'm not making any more movies, maybe he would give, but he is. He's in the midst of Avatar 3, which they don't even know that it's going to make its release date in 2024. They've got so much effects they have to do. I mean, that's how, and we know that he's making Avatar 4. He shot some of that as well. And they're going to do, I think, Avatar 5. I don't know if they're doing 5 and 6.
Wait. There's an Avatar 2? Oh, my God.
To Ray's shock and surprise, there's actually another Avatar.
I mean,
they still hasn't seen.
Yeah, I just don't think James Cameron would allow anybody to diminish what he's doing. And I think you nailed it. I mean, the awe and wonder of Pandora in live action is the appeal of it. You haven't seen a world like this before. You're seeing things you've never seen. And if they were just animated, it would sort of diminish all of it.
Yeah.
It's not like Star Wars where there's a million different stories you can tell. This is one man's singular vision, and he's not going to who's going to do it? He's not going to let that happen.
No way. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What would you think about that? Do you think maybe Disney Plus could maybe do a la Star Wars, Clone Wars animation style on the cheap and whatever? And do you think they could do that? Or do you think there's no chance in hell they would ever let it happen? Would you watch it if they did something like that? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. Now, before we move on to the next topic, just want to give you an update. Ray did indeed put that poll up asking you guys if you think Vanessa will appear in Deadpool 3. And with about 1,400 votes, we've got yes, 77% say yes, Vanessa will appear. 23% say nah, I don't think she will. So there you go. Thank you to everybody for participating in the poll. All right, with that down, let's move on to our next topic here, shall we? And that one is this. Now, look, I don't think there's anybody in the film fan community that has not been, at least to some degree, expecting that we were going to get a Doctor Strange 3, especially with the way Doctor Strange 2 ended. And with the fact that while it did not join the $1 billion club, Doctor Strange 2 and the Multiverse of Madness made over $900 million at the box office. So we all pretty much expected that Doctor Strange 3 was, as you said earlier, inevitable. However, that being said, with all the announcements that they have made about the upcoming roadmap of the MCU, auspicious by its absence has been Doctor Strange 3. Well, according to a new report right now that's coming out and floating around, that Disney has added Doctor Strange 3 to their production schedule, and there's even a possibility it could come out before Kang Dynasty. Which there have been some whispers going around that Kang Dynasty may itself get bumped out a little bit more too, but we're not here to talk about that right now. So that could happen. By the way, piggybacking on those is whispers that a Shang-Chi 2 could be going into production prior to the new Avengers movies as well, which that one would make sense at any rate. With Doctor Strange being such a pivotal part of the multiverse saga, Rob, it does seem odd that the way the second film ended, with him and Charlize Theron going, we need to stop incursions. That's a multiversal thing. Let's go. And then to have Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, which we all believe is going to end the multiverse saga, and then have Doctor Strange 3 come after that, that actually doesn't make any sense. Right. So it would seem to reason that a Doctor Strange 3 would probably come out before either Kang Dynasty or in between Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. So this is one that I tend to believe. This is a franchise that is still making money, despite the fact that it had some mixed reception when it came. I liked the movie. I didn't love it, but I liked it. Had a good time with it. It clearly is very pivotal to the multiverse stuff. I believe this. I think we are going to get a Doctor Strange 3 probably before Kang Dynasty, but at least before Secret Wars. What do you think about this?
I totally agree. I mean, look at what Bob Iger was saying about the animated movies. If it made $1 billion, we're going to make a sequel to it. Any movie that makes any live action movie that makes MC or not, that makes $900 million, you make a sequel to it. That's a lot of money. I mean, in the history now it's so funny because we're in this world where, well, if it didn't make $1 billion, I mean, who cares? But no, lots of people care. A $900 million is a huge sum. And people like Doctor Strange. I mean, I like Benedict Cumberbatch as Stephen Strange. He's great. I would love to see, so the second movie, so it wasn't as great as I wanted it to be, but like you, how do you not have fun watching that movie? I mean, it made promise. Wanda
was a terrific antagonist. I loved Wanda as a villain.
Yeah, it's great. And then you got to see all the stuff in the different Earths, what 818 or 812, whatever they were. It was so much fun to watch. It all didn't hang together as much as I might have wanted it to, but I really, like you said, I had a good time watching it. And I love Doctor Strange. Bring him back. I love the man.
My one worry, I got to say, because I'm with you. And by the way, I want to see Chiwetel Ejiofor now have the opportunity to come back to play the legitimate bad guy of the film.
Yeah.
Which he hasn't had a chance to do yet. And I loved Wanda. I think she's one of the best, quote unquote, villains that they've had in the MCU so far. She's truly menacing. She's truly powerful. And she's truly multidimensional. I mean, and I don't mean that in a multiversal way. My one concern, I got to say, though, especially after, not loving part 2, but I did like it. and then not really liking Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which it wasn't terrible, but I didn't like it. My one worry is that with the way Doctor Strange 2 ended, this would be another fantastical CGI twisted gobbledygook kind of thing where I don't know that I just don't want to see another Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I just don't want to see another one.
Right,
I want to see him back battling Mordo in New York or wherever and stuff like that.
I totally agree. Enough of the weird realms. Bring it back to cities. I want to see mayhem in cities. I want to see this. Maybe
I
not
can do
with
without the third eye.
Yeah, but I mean, look at Charlize, man. Come on.
I think I just blinked.
I think it just blinked. That's totally freaking me out. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about these rumors going around that a Doctor Strange 3 is going to go into production and probably be out before perhaps Kang Dynasty, but absolutely before Secret Wars? I mean, it would make sense because how do you continue that story after the events of Secret Wars? Do you believe it's going to happen? If so, how? Are you looking forward to it? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's stay in the world of comic book movies here for a moment, but switch over universes as we go from the MCU to the DCU.
Ooh.
You know, one of my favorite, I think I will call it my third favorite DCEU movie was actually Shazam. And I fully confess and admit I like that movie more than most people do. But I had a joyous, wonderful time watching that first one. I was delighted by it, had a great time. It did okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it made in the $300 million range, which is not great, but hey, it was what it was. But I had a great time. Now, they've had the second one coming out. I don't think the trailers have been great, except for the last one. The last one was quite good. But I haven't been impressed with the trailers up to that point. And I am looking for it. I love that Helen Mirren is in there as a villain. Lucy Liu in there as a villain. Very excited for it. But again, right up until the last trailer, I don't think they've marketed it well. And not everybody loved the first one like I did. And so there's been a big question here. I was like, how's this movie even going to do? Because it's coming out in March. We're a month away. Well, the box office forecasts are now out, what they call the long-term box office forecasts, and they do not look great. Now, Ray, you can confirm this for me about what the opening weekend box office was for the first Shazam movie. I believe the opening weekend domestic box office for the first Shazam was $54 million. 54, something, somewhere in that neighborhood. So, and of course, studios like to see a trajectory. They want to see this. They want to see it go up. Well, according to Box Office Pro, and we can slide on over to my screen here. It's a little small. Let's see if I can increase the size of this for you. As we look down to Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
It's 53.
It was 53. Okay.
53 and a half.
They are projecting, Box Office Pro right now is projecting that the opening weekend could be as low as $43 million and as high as 52. This is concerning because even at the top end of their forecast, and remember, Ant-Man and the Wasp came within Box Office Pro because they said 95 to 105, and it came in near the top of that range, made 104. So their Box Office Pro is pretty good. Not always 100% on the money, but they're pretty damn good about their forecast. They're saying Shazam! Fury of the Gods coming as low as 43 million, which would be 20% drop from the opening weekend of the first one, all the way up to 52, which close to on par, but would still be literally less than what the first one made opening. And the idea is people like the first movie. They want to come back to it and you want to see it go up. This is not a great sign for them because they're also projecting for the total for it to make domestically is only anywhere between 101 million and 136 million. It's not going to have huge international. We could be looking at a film that makes sub $300 million. Obviously, the performance of Black Adam isn't helping it at all in any way. Not to mention, it didn't help that Dwayne Johnson wanted to totally divorce the Black Adam mythos from the Shazam mythos, which is, I never thought that was a good idea, but I understood where he was going for it because he wanted to make sure his character was seen as its own thing, and I respected that, but to not have a Shazam cameo, I don't know. Anyway, Rob, it's not good news. I honestly don't know what they do at this point to try to turn, they've got about a month or less to turn the fate of this thing around. And I don't know if Zach Levi gets on Instagram and says, Ladies and gentlemen, I got news for you. I've been pushing for it. Henry Cavill's going to make an appearance as Superman. Only we're going to see his face this time. I don't know what they do to change the fates of this thing. Rob, what do you think?
Dude, you know what I think has been a mistake? And I don't know if it's reflected in the final film because I haven't seen it. You know, the one thing that the Shazam franchise has going for it is Billy Batson's a kid.
Yeah.
You know, and then he turns into Shazam in an adult body. None of these trailers have shown that. Like, I would have thought that they would have had, there's a lot of fun to be had going from Billy Batson to Shazam. These trailers have portrayed it as being like he's Shazam the whole time.
Can I ask a question? Have we even seen Billy in the trailer? I mean, I can't
have.
remember. We have?
They do that group walk.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah.
They go,
But he's
Shazam.
He's still way older there. I mean, I wish he would stayed a little bit younger.
Well,
like
yeah,
the
I mean,
first-
that's the whole thing that,
But that's
that
biology. Not much they
Yeah.
can do about that.
I think the way that they're marketing this film is it seems to be a very standard by the numbers superhero plot. There are two women, that's cool. They're scheming, they're evil god power, whatever, and then he's but explain to me, this is what I think the marketing is lacking. How is this different from any other superhero movie? And what's different is you've got these characters that turn from kids into adults, and there's a lot of storytelling gold to be mined there. There's none of that in the way they're selling this movie. And I think that I'm looking at it going, okay, there's two evil witches and they're conjuring up dragons and we have to fight them. But why should I watch this movie when I can, like, Helen Mirren's cool. You know, if I was Chris Carr's husband, Logan, I would be all excited about that. I love Helen Mirren anyway. But I'm like, barring that, the question I have is, why am I supposed to watch this movie?
Here's the thing, though. Even with just that, superhero movie, two evil witches, dragons attacking a city, that, maybe not $1 billion film, that should still be a $600 million
Should
film.
it,
That
though?
should, I think when you look at the landscape and you make it look at the comparables, yeah, it should be.
See, I don't know, because I felt the same way when I was watching Black Adam. I'm like, what? And people said that Black Adam was like a throwback to the 90s. And it was a throwback to the 90s because now superhero movies have Captain America and Iron Man pitted against one another on either side of an ideological rift. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Like, so you're sitting there going, okay, I want to know who's right. You know, from the marketing, you can understand immediately Civil War sets you up to be like, there's a really interesting dilemma. Two characters that I love are at odds with one another. I'll watch that. I watch this and I'm like, why should I watch this movie? I mean, other than the fact that I love Shazam, I love the Marvel family. I love the costumes and all that, but the storyline has seemed to me rather to be generic.
I wish they would lean more into like the big element, the Tom Hanks big element.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, that stuff is so much fun.
Yeah, it is.
And like, if you're Shazam, you know, and you're Billy Batson, I want to see him loving being Shazam. Like I'm
Exactly.
a superhero. If I was a superhero, dude, I'd spend months. I'd fly to other countries. I'd meet foreign girls. I'd go to resorts and be like, look at me, I'm Shazam. I mean, I'd travel around the world and have a great time for a while.
Well, you and I remember when the first movie came out, you and I were, one of the things we liked a lot about the first one is it's kind of become a trope in even the best of superhero movies that, oh, the unspeakable burden of the powers that I have. I just want to be a normal kid. I just want to be a normal man. Like, oh, the bird. Where when Shazam was coming out, when the first Shazam was coming out, like you and I loved the idea of if a kid got these powers,
Yeah.
he'd be high as a kite, man. He would be like super. And there was a joy about that, right? And you're right. They're not showing any of that.
None of it.
In the trailers for this.
And that's the thing. It just looks like some generic, okay, here's some generic villains we don't know because we don't know who they are, so they're not recognized. And you see some funny stuff like when he gets his ass handed to him. I mean, that's funny but other than that, where is that dichotomy of being a kid and being a superhero that's inherent to this franchise?
Also, where they left off in that post-credit scene, he's just settling into the high school. It would be cool if they just, got into that a little bit.
Right.
They
Yeah,
went to
went
the
back into that.
fantastical right away.
I mean,
now that you're the kid that Superman came and had lunch with you at your lunch table, I mean, yeah, show a little bit of that. I think it would be charming.
that's not saying it's
Keep it
not in the
grounded a
movie.
little bit.
yeah,
It
yeah,
might
but
be
they're not using
haven't
it to
sho-
sell the movie.
No, and I find that odd because that's what makes Shazam different from any other superhero movie.
Now, I'm still going to admit, I really did like the last trailer myself. I mean,
I did
punching
too.
a dragon that goes through a belt. Yeah, I dig that.
But I just think that, and I think for the general audiences though that you've got Quantum Mania and you've got all. I think that's why Black Adam didn't do as well as it probably should have, because it was too, even with the Justice Society. Why go see that movie? Like, what about that film is going to be exciting? Whereas you tell people that Captain America and Iron Man are hate each other, and they're going to have to fight with their that you want to see that. You don't even have to see the trailer. Somebody tells you the plot, they're like, "Oh, I got to see that."
Well, and for the record, I did like Black Adam. I liked it. I had fun with it. I saw it a couple times, but yeah, it didn't do what it should have done. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this right now? There's still a month to go, but the projections are that Shazam Fear of the Gods could open 20% lower than the first one did. And at the top of its range, still a little bit less than the first one did. I love the first one myself, but what do you think the problem is? What could they do to maybe turn their fates around? Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's get into our main topic here today, shall we? Because I'm super excited about this. And that is this. You know, my favorite event every year, I mean, besides Oscar Day, but my favorite event that I get to attend every year is not Comic-Con. It's not anything else. It has been probably for the past 7 years, my favorite thing to go to has been CinemaCon. I love CinemaCon. And, you know, we just put up a new explainer video yesterday about the 5 misunderstandings around Rotten Tomatoes. I think I'm going to do another editorial video on what is CinemaCon. I'm probably going to do that at some point. But it's my favorite event every year, of course. All the movie studios get together with all the movie theater owners and show off what they've got coming up this next year. They always show us some great stuff. Like last year, too, not only did there had to have been 8, 9, 10 movies there where they showed us like 15 minutes of the movies coming out, including stuff for like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and all that kind of stuff. But then they also showed us surprise full screenings. We saw The Black Phone, which was awesome. We saw Top Gun Maverick, which was awesome. What was the third one last year? I keep forgetting what the third one was.
We saw some of Lightyear. That's all I remember.
I mean, yeah, they showed us like the first 20 minutes of Lightyear. They showed us the first 15 minutes of Doctor Strange. They showed us like a 15-minute featurette of Mission Impossible. Yeah, well, they showed us the first like 15 minutes across Spider-Verse. Yeah. Even the unfinished animation was pretty cool. But at any rate, well, this year, there's a couple of screenings that I suspect we're getting at CinemaCon. One is, I believe, I would put $50 on this, that Disney's going to be showing Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Because it's just like 3 weeks before the movie's supposed to come out. Disney has blocked a much longer than normal period of time for their normal presentation. So they're showing a movie. I think it's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I also really believe, I don't have any information on this, but I believe that because of the huge success that Paramount had last year with Top Gun Maverick, I believe they're going to play Mission Impossible. What is it? Mission Impossible
Dead
Doogie
Reckoning.
Howser? Yeah, Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Reckoning Part 1, yes.
I believe they're going to play that for us.
And Tom Cruise is going to be there.
And, oh yeah, 100% Tom Cruise will be there. 100%.
With Chris McQuarrie.
However, yesterday came news of something that I was not expecting. It was reported in Variety. We can bring up my screen on this. It was reported in Variety that they have exclusively learned that The Flash is going to screen nearly 2 months before its release date at CinemaCon. CinemaCon's in April. Flash comes out in June. And
in front of all the exhibitors.
In front of all the movie theater chains and all the movie theater managers and all the things from not only across America, but across the world. They're going to show this thing nearly 2 months in advance. It's probably close to like 6-7 weeks in advance, but we'll say round it up. Close to 2 months in advance, they're going to be showing this. I believe it's going to be before they show it to any critics. It's going to certainly be long before they do a premiere for it. They're going to show this thing to the people who are relying on and are going to judge it the harshest, the ones who need this thing to be good. It's because it's going to be in their theaters that this thing's playing. Warner Brothers wants to get people excited, and I'll tell you what. The reason this excites me is for 2 reasons. One, because it means we get to see it a couple of months early. So I am super excited about being able to see it a couple of months early. Absolutely. So that's one of the reasons I'm excited. The second reason I'm excited, though, is because of this. man, this is a roll of the dice. If you're Warner Brothers, this is a roll of the dice. Because if your movie ain't good and you let people see this thing almost 2 months out, word's going to get around real fast that it ain't good.
Yeah.
But this, to me, we've been hearing David Zaslav and Warner Brothers saying for a while, Andy Muschietti made a great movie. Then we heard James Gunn, who's now the head of DC, say, this is one of the greatest comic book films of all time. Words are easy. Words are easy. Show me you believe in it. All right. We're going to put it out like 2 months early for all the movie theater owners in front of a stadium of 4,000 people at CinemaCon. How's that for you? You like that?
It doesn't get much more enthusiastic than that.
Nope. It does not. And especially when you look at the stuff that, like when they played the full screens, like last year also, Black Phone was another one. It's like we all came out of Black Phone going, that was fantastic. That was so great. To me, the important part here is not just that I get to lay my little Italian eyeballs on this movie early. It's that, wow, Warner Brothers and DC are actually backing up their claims of having all the faith in the world in this thing. Because listen, man, if this movie is as good, if Andy Muschietti has made a film as good as they're, even 80% as good as what the folks over there at Warner Brothers are touting, word of mouth on this thing is going to smell. We talked about how bad the word of mouth can be. Look at it rolling in the other direction. The word of mouth in this could escalate real fast, get around. We saw it. It happened with Top Gun Maverick last year.
Yeah.
And it could absolutely happen here. And so, listen.
I'm excited.
Good or bad, I tip my cap to James Gunn, David Zaslav, the folks over Warner Brothers, for putting your money where your mouth is. You've been saying you believe in this film. Well, now you're going to throw it. You're going to throw the chum in the water, man, because this ain't good. People are going to find out fast, and you're showing belief in it. And that is something, Rob, you've been working with me for years. One of my biggest long-running frustrations with Warner Brothers has always been you never show faith in your damn properties. This is showing a lot of damn faith in this property. Anyway, Rob, I gave you a phone call yesterday. I told you,
I was like,
Rob,
I was like, what? I didn't believe what you were saying at first. And I'm like, that's extraordinary. And with all, I mean, it could be all the things that could go wrong, a PR nightmare.
Yep.
Your exhibitors, the very people that you need to have faith in the movie, if they didn't like it, they rejected it. But you know what? I think Warner Brothers CinemaCon is becoming increasingly more important as a launch pad, because you're not just showing it, you're showing it to the very people that have to put it in their own businesses and be excited about it. So this is even,
and you're trying to get, remember, part of the reason they bring these, they do these presentations and everything is because they want to convince the theater owners to book as many of their screens as possible for their things. And you stink the place out with this. You're not, instead of like 4,000 screens, you're going to get like 2,800 screens.
Yeah. And this isn't like Comic-Con where they have they know they're getting a friendly audience as much as they can. This is an audience of business owners that aren't necessarily comic books or science fiction or fantasy film fans at all. These are very business-minded people that they don't care what movies they're playing. They just want the movies to be good. Will they bring in audiences? That's what they need to know. For them to show this, I mean, the level, it's not just here. The level of, I mean, this is some big brass balls walking in the room going, look what I got. That's what it is. And what's great to me is that we're going to get all I care about is if the movie's good. And I think we're getting a great movie. All this hyperbole, it's going to be. Because
remember, when we walked out of, I had my doubts. Listen, I have no problem admitting this. I had my doubts going into Top Gun Maverick that it could be a huge financial hit, right? I just thought maybe a little bit too long. When they showed us the first 18 minutes of it, the previous CinemaCon, I went, oh man, this could be really good. But when we came out of the full screening at CinemaCon last year, you could hear all the theater owners buzzing. This movie is going to make so much money.
Yeah.
You could feel it, right?
And now we know why they only showed us a half an hour of Lightyear.
Yeah, because that was the only good part of it.
Yeah, they showed it, and it was interesting. That was an important lesson to learn. I mean, I'm definitely, if a studio's not willing, if they're going to show you a half an hour of a movie, that's not enough. I'm no
Well,
longer.
I
gonna
don't
be
agree with
convinced.
that, because only like I don't agree with that, because only like 3 movies a year will get screened at
Sure.
CinemaCon. So you bring a presentation and you got like 4 movies. Hey, if you are willing to show us, because remember, a lot of these movies that they showcase are still like 8 months away.
That's true.
Right? So like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse or Across the Spider-Verse, that half of that stuff they showed us wasn't even finished.
No, of course, but
Right?
they felt so strongly about it that it,
And you've got one.
But that's different. If
You've only got
something's
one.
unfinished.
You could only show one movie at these things because their time is limited, right?
Yeah.
So I remember when at CinemaCon Disney, they showed Shang-Chi, and again, the whole audience was completely buzzed about it. Of course, they showed the Black Phone. They showed Ghostbusters. They had, right prior to the passing of Ivan Reitman, they had Ivan Reitman and Jason Reitman on stage, and that was a total surprise screening. Me and Aaron Cummings are sitting there watching Ivan Reitman and Jason Reitman talking, and they go, yeah, so we can't wait for you guys to watch this movie, which you're going to do right now. And everybody in the audience was like, what? And they showed Ghostbusters Afterlife, and it was like, well, this is what all the hype was about, because that movie was really good, and there were
Yeah.
some doubts going into it. So huge brass ones on the guys over at DC and Warner Brothers swaggering into CinemaCon saying, we're going to show you this movie that we have a lot of money riding on this early.
I got one for you.
Uh-oh. What is it?
Over under 50% Ezra Miller is there to promote it.
0.
Okay.
Absolute 0. They are going to want this to be a love fest. It's going to be the same reason
Michael
why.
Keaton?
What's that?
Michael Keaton.
80%.
Okay.
80% Michael Keaton's there. And maybe even other cast as well.
The thing is, if they brought Michael Keaton, nobody else would care about anybody.
Yeah,
else.
nothing else matters.
would matter.
But I'll tell you what, I was at a special event before Fantastic Beasts 3 came out, and the whole cast was there. Whole cast did a presentation. Whole cast, except for Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
They did not bring Ezra Miller. And I do not believe they're going to have Ezra Miller there, because they're going to want this to be a love fest for the movie. They're going to want it to be all positive hype and buzz. And unfortunately, the reality is that Ezra Miller has created a reality where they cannot be a part of that, because they will take away from the event and it will suck a lot of the energy out. And it's going to be, yeah, it was great, but it felt weird because Ezra was
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
you know? So
Right.
I'm going to say 0% that they have Ezra Miller there.
But for sure, I think for sure Michael Keaton's going to be there.
I'll go a full 80%. How cool? Okay, he won't do it. He won't do it. What if he came out on stage in the Batman
Oh my
outfit?
god.
Oh, come on.
That'd be
Who
awesome.
wouldn't be
He's
excited
like,
if
I'm too old for this.
you are? No, he's not.
Okay, I don't think, but he is going to come out and he is going to say, I'm
Batman.
Yeah,
Damn
and he's
right
going to
he
say
is.
it to the whole audience, and all these exhibitors are going to go bananas.
Damn right he is. He's going to come out and
Bananas.
say, I'm Batman, whether it's in a regular suit or whether it's in the
thing
Batman
is, so
suit.
I got to tell you, to be honest, I like seeing actors not. I like seeing them. What's he wearing? Like, what kind of suit does Michael Keaton like to wear? I don't like to see. If he came out in the Batman suit, it would be weird, because the Batman suit on a stage does not look like it looks on a movie theater screen. It's just a Batman
John,
suit.
I'll go one step forward. I'll go one step more. He's going to drive out on stage in the Batmobile.
Oh god.
That could happen in that theater. If you know what, that I could see happening.
Come on.
Absolutely.
Or the Batmobile comes out in here, bah, 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 and then out of the rafters of the Celine Dion Theater, and a cable comes ziplining down Michael Keaton in his Batman outfit. Okay, now I'm really taking this too far.
Now
but
you're really on
No, but I
cocaine.
could see him. I could see him in the Batmobile. I could see that
You're
happen.
the cocaine bear.
I am the cocaine bear.
Are we going to check the score?
We will do that once we come back from our break, guys. But by the way, we are now going to move over and start taking live comments and questions for those of you who are our beloved channel members. If you're one of our channel members, first of all, thank you for being one of our channel members. Go ahead and look at the community tab of the YouTube channel, and you'll see a post there that only community members can see. Leave a comment thought in there, and we'll get through a bunch of them here when we come back. But first, we're going to hear from a couple more sponsors of today's episode of the John Campea Show, our friends over at the Black Tux and Fume. Hey guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, the Black Tux. It's time we had the talk. You know the one I'm talking about, the one that ends in the 3-letter word. I'm talking about a tux. And when you need a tux, the best place to go to get one is the Black Tux. The Black Tux makes it super easy to get an on-trend, top-quality, guaranteed to fit tux without ever needing to leave your house. So here's how it works. Take the Black Tux Fit Quiz, pick the style you want to wear, and boom, your tux is delivered to your door 10 days before the day you need it. That's plenty of time to try it on and make sure it wears you well. And hey, hey, if the fit's not quite right, say hello to the Black Tux Fit Guarantee. Order a better size within a day or two of receiving the less than great fitting one, and they'll send another one right away at no extra cost. Their expert fit specialists will help you find the perfect style tux or suit and make sure it fits just right. Listen, I've been dubious in the past about online sites or apps that say they can get your measurements, but the fit quiz with the Black Tux works great. And man, I wish I had had these guys for so many events I've attended over the years. So rent or buy, the Black Tux is the best place to go when you need a tuxedo for a wedding or a special night. And right now, when you go to theblacktux.com/Campea and use the code Campea, you'll save $20 off your order. That's TheBlackTux.com/Campea, code Campea to save $20. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Fume. Be smart. Don't start. Kick the habit. Put it out before it puts you out. All phrases we've heard 100 times, and yet we still continue to have bad habits. Today's sponsor, Fume, is on a mission to accelerate humanity's breakup from the bad habits that consume far too many of us. Fume is a natural diffusive device that uses plants and behavioral science to help you trade out your negative habit for a positive one. You see, Fume is not a vape. It's a non-electronic device designed to transform your negative habits. Because instead of pods filled with potentially harmful chemicals like a vape, Fume uses cores infused with plants like peppermint and cinnamon for delicious natural flavors. And Fume's new version 2 model is snappy and tactile. With an adjustable airflow dial and a magnetic end cap, your fingers will always have something to do. The device itself is really attractive, and once I popped in the core and took my first inhale of it, it tasted fantastic. Guys, the easiest way to stop a bad habit is to switch to a positive one, and Fume is designed to perfectly do just that. So head over to tryfume.com and use the promo code Campea to save 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. The Journey Pack comes with 3 unique flavors and the new version 2 Fume to help kickstart your positive habits. That's tryfume, TRYFUM.com, and use the code Campea to save an additional 10% off your order today. And thank you to our friends at the Black Tux and Fume for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. All right, guys, breaking news. Here it is. The first negative review for Cocaine Bear has come in. But you know what? I'm looking down at the list of all the reviews. You can go to my screen for a second there. They don't list any negative reviews. It's not there.
What destroyer of joy?
I don't know, but somebody put in their first negative one, which has dropped Cocaine Bear to a 92.
Who hates bears?
Who hates bears? Who hates bears?
Cocaine.
Yeah, who hates cocaine? No one hates cocaine.
I bet it's Yogi Bear, you guys. I bet.
All right. Anyway, let's move over and start hearing from our channel members, shall we? What do we got in here first?
Let's see. Dave XP says, Felipe, the sentient microphone, has now officially more character development than the Wasp. Somebody said that yesterday.
Somebody said that yesterday, and it's still as true today as it was yesterday. All right, what's next?
Dave XP said, oh, that's
Broccoli.
okay. Broccoli says, what are you looking forward to more? Andor season 2 or House of the Dragon season 2?
Oh, damn. I ain't gonna lie. I think House of the Dragon was a tiny bit better than Andor.
Yep.
But who am I kidding? If House of the Dragon and Andor season 2 both debuted tomorrow, and I only had time to watch one of them first, I'm watching Andor first. It's Star Wars.
Yeah.
And it's awesome Star Wars.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it would be... Then I watch the other one the next day.
The great thing is we don't have to choose. We can watch them both.
Yep.
the best
Yay!
thing
But
about
yeah, Andor will be the first one I'm tuning into probably. All right, what's next?
Mr. Hank Dunn. Oh, wait, no, that's Alan Ling is the next. Wait,
Mr. Hank Dunn is next.
Is that okay? Would you stay through the movie if Ezra came out on stage or if they said he'll continue?
If they said, if he came out on stage, no, I would not leave. He's, Ezra Miller is the star of the movie. I highly doubt that they'll be there, but if they are and they come out on stage, that's fine. If James Gunn were to say that Ezra was going to continue as the Flash, I would leave the theater.
Wow.
I will not watch any DC thing that Ezra Miller is in. I just won't. Now, They shot this movie before all the drama. There was nothing they could do about that, so it's fine. I give this movie a pass. I totally do. And by the way, I've always liked Ezra Miller as the Flash, so that's all fine. But were they to announce there, and they will not. They will not do this. Ezra Miller is not going to be continuing as the Flash. But if they were to announce before starting the screening, I would walk out. Now, I was having a really good discussion with another film pundit who you guys know last night on the phone. And, the question came up again. It's like, but if the Flash comes out and it's awesome, makes $1 billion, you think Warner Brothers is thinking about doing it? And I'll tell you why they won't. Because, my friend said, it's a business and you want to make money. I said, yes, it's a business. And with all the work that Warner Brothers and DC is doing to try to shake off all the baggage that the DCU used to have, you think if they hit a hit film with this Flash, you think the first thing they're going to do is bring drama along with them? I don't think so. There is no way. I don't care if this movie makes $2 billion. They aren't going to look at it and say, it made $2 billion because of Ezra Miller. No one thinks that. And I think Ezra will be very good in the movie. I do. But there is no chance that Ezra Miller is going to continue to be the Flash after this movie. And that's why when Peter Safran was directly asked about it a couple of weeks ago, Peter Safran said the very diplomatic thing, because you don't want to cut the knees out from this movie that's coming out. You dodge the question, you say, you know what, right now we're just really focused on them getting healthy. That they're getting the help they need right now. And we'll worry about those questions later. That is a smart thing to say.
Yep.
But that translates into, oh, hell no, they're not going to be at Flash moving forward. But if they did announce that, I would walk out.
All
All right, what's next?
All right, I have some breaking news. It is not Cocaine Bear related. However, Stephen Ewan from Nope and from The Walking Dead is joining the MCU. It has just been reported on Deadline. He will be joining Thunderbolts in a part that is significant to the MCU. So I am thrilled about this.
All right, well, maybe we'll get some more information about that. We can talk about that tomorrow.
That's cool.
All
I
right.
love Steven
Yeah,
Yeun.
Taylor, tomorrow.
What's next?
Jeez.
Taylor, are we at the top? Alan Ling?
Yes.
Alan Ling asks, hey, John and crew, question about you guys going to CinemaCon. Who is going? Is it the whole crew? It's cut off the end. I'm doubtful about Erin, as she said she's moving to New York, but would Erin make a last appearance to join in for the event?
You know what? Probably not. I actually spoke to Erin on the phone about this yesterday, and I let her know that, hey, if you guys aren't moved to New York yet, you and Tom, you are more than welcome to come. Now, I'm going to let you in a little bit of behind the scenes stuff. I don't like talking dollars and cents here, but here's part of the reality. The one ticket to go to CinemaCon is $1,300. And I'm the one who buys the tickets for everybody in the crew who does go. So I did let Erin know that, hey, if she wants to come and Tom want to come to Vegas, because I get the hotels as well, and I buy the ticket, you are more than welcome to come. But the problem is they have one kid, they have another kid on the way. They're trying to get ready to uproot and move, and to head down to Vegas for a week is a tall order. Now, Erin didn't straight up say no. She said, let me talk to Tom and see if we can work it out. But we're probably going to talk to her. She's probably going to say no. But I'm hoping she's going to be able to get to go. I'm still working out who's going to go and who's not, because obviously at that price tag, I can't bring everybody, but we'll see. All right, what's next?
Vixter.
Tenet, Dunkirk, Interstellar, Inception, and the Dark Knight trilogy, all back in the UK's biggest IMAX cinema, leading to Nolan's Oppenheimer. Might be happening in North America too.
Maybe. By the way, I saw, piggybacking off that, I saw that in April, their Fathom Events is doing a nationwide limited theater re-release of Lord of the Rings: Return of the King.
Wow.
So I'll be there for that. But yeah, listen, if they there's a couple of those Nolan films I'd love to see on the big screen again.
Mm-hmm.
Totally would. Maybe not. What was the name of the last one again? Tenet? Yeah, maybe not Tenet,
Yeah.
but all the other ones, I'd be very tempted to see those on the big screen again. All right, what's next?
Yep. King Tannic, our friend King Tannic. I'm so excited for Cocaine Bear. Seeing it this weekend. Please keep that 100%. Well, Israel, it's already down.
Yep, it's already down. The first negative review has hit. So it is sitting at 92%. with one negative review. They are not posting who the negative review is from yet. I'm sure that'll come soon, but one negative review. Once they publish who the dirty, filthy bastard who ruined the 100%. I have not seen Cocaine Bear, by the way, so I might not like it. Once they publish the name of the dirty bastard who ruined Cocaine Bear's 100%, we will publicize that person's name. I want to cancel that person.
Oh boy.
We'll go after
I haven't
him.
even seen the movie.
We'll review bomb the reviewer.
We will review bomb the review
Oh,
bomber.
my.
That's what we will do. All right.
All in good fun.
What's next?
All in good fun.
Joy Babooey, 1 of 2. Michael Caine is about to be 90 years old in March. 90.
Wow.
Can you believe that? By the way, you know he's going to be 92 in March, John?
I do not know.
A good Canadian kid.
You're not William Shatner?
Yes.
I thought he just had his 90th.
No, he's going to be 92 in March.
Really?
On March 22nd.
I thought he just had his 90th. Okay, that's interesting. I lost track of time there a little bit.
So let me finish this one, though. And he still has upcoming movies. Top 10 actor of all time, in my opinion.
I don't believe he's a top 10 actor of all time, but he is one of the greats.
He's one of the greats.
You could even put him in a bag of shit like Jaws 4.
This time it's personal.
This time it's personal. And I remember he had one of the great quotes of any actor of all time talking about his career. Somebody asked him about being in Jaws 4 and his, what as you look back on, what do you regret being in Jaws 4? And he says, "It bought my mother a lovely house." And that was it. That was it. And it was one of the great lines in actor. It bought my mother a lovely house.
And Michael Caine has his own hot toy
He does?
as Alfred.
I was going to say, it must be as Alfred, right?
From the Nolan. Yeah, and it's a really good one. He comes in a very nice suit.
All right, what's next?
Just saying. Lando says, are you more excited to see Doctor Doom appear in the MCU or for a new take on Lex Luthor in the DC universe? I'm a huge DC fan. Would love a more comic accurate take on that character.
Here's the problem. When you say you would like a comic accurate take on Lex Luthor, which Lex Luthor? Do you know how many iterations of Lex Luthor there have been in the comics? How wildly different those are. So when you say a more comic accurate, I have to follow up the question with which version, because there have kind of been several.
Yeah.
I don't know, how would you answer that?
I mean, I think it's to me. I think of Lex Luthor as like the Clancy Brown from the animated series voiced Luthor that eventually becomes president of the United States.
Right.
A very powerful captain of industry that also is obsessed. I mean, one of my favorite things is when John Byrne came back and did Superman after Crisis on Infinite Earths. There's an early comic in his run where Lex Luthor creates this big computer to figure out who Superman actually is, and the computer spits out it's Clark Kent. And Lex Luthor's like, that's ridiculous. Why would a reporter from the Daily Planet pretend to be a reporter from the Daily Planet if you're Superman? That's the dumbest thing I ever
Not to
heard.
mention, Clark Kent wears glasses.
Yeah.
Superman does not wear glasses. If he didn't have on his glasses, how could Superman see?
That's exactly right. Right.
See, supercomputers, man, not so super.
No.
All right, what's next?
Piggy the movie guy. Or wait a minute, where are we at?
Piggy the movie guy.
Okay, Piggy the movie guy. Game day.
Game day?
Cocaine Bear tonight. I'm so excited. Probably the most excited I've felt in a while for a movie.
It sounds ridiculous to say, and I did bring it up, I think, on my open mic yesterday. I am more excited to see Cocaine Bear than I was to see Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. And I love Ant-Man. I love Ant-Man, and I was excited to see Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, but I am actually more excited that I'm going to go see Cocaine Bear tonight than I was the day I went to go see Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's kind of weird. All right, what's next?
You know it's going to be fun. Canada rocks. Oh, okay. Rob, when does Picard season 3 get good? The first 2 episodes have been a chore. I'm tapping out. Maybe I will binge it if you say it gets better. Look, I don't know why you don't like it. I mean, if you don't like it, all I can tell you is that it gets better. I mean, I thought there's a moment at the end of episode 2 that's a wordless exchange between 2 characters. I thought was terrific.
I'll tell you what, I told Rob this the other day. So I've only seen episode 1 so far. And I liked it. I thought it was good. But I remember, because Rob did not like season 1 of Picard.
Hated both seasons.
I did like season 1 of Picard. And I remember I watched episode 1 of season 3, and I'm like, okay, this is good. It feels exactly like Picard season 1, episode 1. It's really establishing where the character's at right now. It felt like it had the same cadence. It felt like it had the same DNA. Like, I honestly didn't feel a lot of difference between episode 1 of season 1 and episode 1 of season 3.
I mean, somebody comes back at the end of episode 2. How can you not?
And I have not seen episode 2
Yeah,
yet.
I mean,
Okay.
how can you not love? And I would say this: Star Trek Picard season 3 is like a movie. Episodes 1 through 4 are Act 1, very distinctly. Episodes 5 through 8 are Act 2, and episodes 9 and 10 are the shattering balls to the wall climax. It's very much designed that way.
I'm glad you didn't say balls shattering.
Yeah.
That would have been, I have no interest in that. All right,
that would be
what's
bad.
next?
Lipstick Train Face says,
Okay, that's the username of the day.
Lipstick Train Face says, "How do you get to be so awesome?"
I was
I'll take
lucky
it
to
from
be
here.
born Italian-Canadian.
Go ahead, Ray.
It's genetics.
Oh, that was towards. Oh,
I thought you
thought that was directed towards Taylor.
All right, what's next?
Living with Dameron said, "If Vanessa isn't in Deadpool 3, how will Rob celebrate International Women's Day that year?"
A mystery for sure.
Mystery for sure.
One of, I'm going to say
I
top
don't get the reference.
top 10 to top 15 laugh out loud moments I've had in a movie theater. The number one, obviously, still being from the great Spaceballs of Now Lone Star, you will see that evil always triumph because good is dumb. That's the hardest I've ever laughed. But International Women's Day, I just about choked. I laughed so hard.
So funny.
All right, what's next?
Callum says, "Hey crew, I'm watching Succession for the first time and
Nice.
loving it. Who's everyone's favorite character? For me, it's either Roman or Kendall."
All the characters are great, but it's what's Brian Cox's character's name? Why am I
Logan.
Logan. Logan is one of the best characters on television.
Yeah.
All the characters are great, but Saban is great. The brothers are great, but Logan is one of the best characters on television.
I agree.
I love him. Now, did you see what's going on between Brian Cox
Yes.
and what's the name of the other actor?
Jeremy Strong.
Right, and Jeremy Strong. I don't know if you guys saw this, but like Brian Cox is like about 2 years ago, he's figured, you know what? I'm old and I've got all the money I'm ever going to need for the rest of my life, and it doesn't matter. And he started shooting off against Johnny Depp sucks and this person sucks. And then he started shooting off against his own co-star in the show, saying he's a fine actor. That's the first thing he said, which is more than what he said for the other people. He says he's a fine actor, but Strong uses method acting like Daniel Day-Lewis does. And Brian Cox says, it's fucking annoying. Don't even get me started. And Strong had a really great response. Strong had a great response. He said, when they asked Strong about it, he said, you hear Brian Cox said, your acting style is fucking annoying and he doesn't even want to talk about it. He said, well, you know what? Brian Cox has earned the right to say whatever he wants to say. And I love my whole family on the show. He said, but like family, you don't have to like the people you love. And I thought that was a very interesting comment. You don't, but it's a very true comment. You don't have to like the people you love. And I thought about that. And I thought, you know what? That's actually incredibly profound.
Yeah, John, it is.
Fuck you. All right.
Very relatable.
Very relatable. Ah, the family. All right. What's next?
Ahmed says, "Looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Oh, dude, I'm telling. Listen, in all my insistence that the MCU has lost its magic, I am equally as insistent that it could come back like that the moment Guardians of the Galaxy 3 hits. Because I'll tell you what, man, if that Christmas special is anything to go on, James Gunn has not lost any of the magic in the Guardians franchise. And if they can bring that to Guardians 3 as quickly as the magic of the MCU, well, it wasn't quick, it's been over the course of a while, but it can come back just like that.
I have to say, Drax wanting that little man, the statue. It's still,
Why do you get the Kane figure and I can't get?
It still makes me laugh. It's just so stupid.
Do you want to give Peter a happy Christmas or do you want your little man? Little man?
It's so
So good.
It's so good.
That whole special is so good. All right, what's next?
Mr. 47 says, "What did Darth Vader say to the Emperor when they took a trip to Toronto?"
Pal, poutine? No, that's not good.
Palpatine.
And I say, hey, pal,
That's the dumbest. Come on, man.
Not good.
Oh, she.
Took a minute, but he got it.
I like the HDMI. That one was like in my head the rest of that night.
That was
It made
pretty
my-
good. I had never heard
HDMI.
that. HDMI.
All right, what's next?
Eric McDonough says, what do you think about the rumor of Spider-Man being the leader of the Avengers? I honestly don't think that he's ready for that kind of responsibility, but that's just my opinion.
Nonsense.
Honestly.
It's nonsense.
It's nonsense. He can't.
There's two very real, no, there's three very real reasons why it's idiotic to think that Spider-Man would be the leader of the Avengers. Reason number one, not as big of the reason, not the biggest reason, but number one is this. The Avengers will not trust somebody that they don't know who they are.
Yeah.
And right now, nobody knows who Spider-Man is because of the spell and whatever. Reason number two, Peter ain't he's not a strategist. Like when you talk about the potential people in the Avengers, there are several of them with decades of military experience. And then the third, he's practically high school. I mean, he's freshman college age. You think that a roadie, Iron Man, who's been an Air Force captain for 2 decades, the leader of men, is say, oh yeah, I'll follow the battlefield orders and calls being made by this child who's never done crap? That's just the stupidest thing in the world.
Also, as we've seen, there's also government oversight for the Avengers. I mean, Thunderbolt Ross comes, and you think the government's gonna put up with some kid?
President Ross.
President, right?
But this is the bottom line. Spider-Man's an idiot. And like when you go back into, and this is one of the things that I really like about the Spider-Man movies. Let's even look at Spider-Man Far From Home, right? The moment Spider-Man even gets what was the name of the glasses he put on? Is Even Dead, I'm Awesome, Edith or something like that.
Yeah.
And Even Dead, I'm the hero. I think Edith, right. So the first thing that he does is he does stupid fucking stuff with it. I'm going to break into people's social media. I'm going to find out how to make this girl like me. I'm going to make this guy like me. That's the leader of the Avengers. Fuck you. He's a fucking child. He's a child with no leadership experience, no military experience. He's popular. Okay, that's a great reason to make him you know who were the leaders of the Avengers? Captain America was the leader of the Avengers. You know who else was a leader in the Avengers? Iron Man was a leader in the Avengers.
And both of those guys were known commodities by the government.
You're not going to put an experienceless, talentless child as the leader of the Avengers. He's a hero. He's got heart. He can develop into something later. But the kid, you're telling me Sam Wilson would follow the child Spider-Man when he's got Rhodey over here, Captain Marvel, who also military experience,
Right.
Years of fighting evil threats in the galaxy, could wipe Spider-Man off the face of the earth by doing that. And you're going to say, let's get this child to be the leader of the Avengers.
Yeah.
It's nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
Is this all because Cocaine Bear got one negative review?
I'm really
That's
pissed
where
about that,
anger is
Ray.
coming from?
I'm really, and I'm going to take it out on Spider-Man for it. And I love Spider-Man, by the way. Very excited that we're finally going to get Spider-Man without the frickin' Iron Man Jr.
In the
out there.
classic
agree.
suit too, baby.
Yeah, and the classics. I'm super excited for that. All right, what's that? What's next?
Black Rice 19 says, do you think DC announcing a new universe is hurting Shazam 2's box office potential?
No, because Black Adam came out. The first Shazam only made again, it did okay, but it only made $300-something million. Like, you'd have to be able to point to say there was some drastic departure. And by the way, listen, Flash is going to do just fine. So no, I don't think that's hurting it at all, as a matter of fact. All right, what's next?
Dildar the Glorious says, being in Portland sucks right now because of the snowstorm. Snowed in at my job and I have to stay in its hotel. So I don't know what the last word is.
Yeah, we
So
gotta shrink that up so we can get the final words in the thing there. But hey, listen, as a Canadian, there you go.
There we go.
As a Canadian, I am more than familiar with snow days. I used to love snow days.
Me too.
Actually, winter, true story, winter is my favorite time of year. And that's one of the things I really have missed by living in California is I miss having actual winter.
I do too.
There's nothing I love more than a good snowstorm, man. I love bundling up, going out, walking on the Campea Ranch in the snowstorm and stuff. I love it. But But the reality is when stuff like that hits a big city or whatever, it can be crippling, and I get it, and it causes a lot of inconvenience.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Dave XP says, the multiverse being in danger is not a threat humans can identify with. We just can't grasp the scale of it. We feel a bit
Bigger.
a sense of danger when a city or a hero's family member is being threatened. So phase 4 is kind of a miss. I think that's actually a very good point. We were talking about that yesterday.
Yeah.
How do you know what the threat is when you don't have any examples of that in your own life?
There's been very little grounding.
Yeah.
Which I think is part of the reason why I love Shang-Chi so much, right? Like they're like
The bus chase in San Francisco.
bus chase fight scene is to me a top 3 greatest scene in comic book movie, like action sequence in comic book movie history, right up there with the airport scene in Civil War, and I'd have to think of another
Well,
one.
and you got two things going on. You've got Aquafina, or the bus is trying to be driven, so that's going to hit something. And at the same time, you got this great fight scene on a bus that's careening out of control.
Yeah.
That's and there's no universal threat there.
You know what? This is a good comparison. You know why that stuff matters? It's the same reason why, to me, the most, you watch a good horror movie, your butt cheeks clench up and you get all tense and freaked out. Never has a horror movie made me clench up, freak out, get so tense I couldn't breathe, as much as in A Quiet Place when Emily Blunt is walking down some stairs and you just see a rusty nail sticking up and you know it's coming, because that to my brain is real.
Yeah.
Like when it's relatable to our existence, when it's the fantastical within the mundane, when it's very tangible to our existence, it heightens it a lot more. When I see a monster going, I have holes. Well, I don't mean to spoil anything, but I mean, I just, it doesn't connect with me nearly as much.
Wait. Did you say that makes your butt cheeks squeeze together?
If you get all tense, I'm seeing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I
Yes.
get the tingle thing that goes down the spine.
Oh
It
yeah,
feels
that
like
too.
needles.
Yeah, all that.
Ugh.
All of that. All right, what's next?
Bruce Lum says, hi, Rob. Thanks for mentioning the movie Sisu recently. That trailer really rocks. Like John Wick, instead of revenge over a dog, it's over the gold. Can't wait for its release in April. Bring on the filthy. That was the movie, the Finnish movie that somebody wrote in about, yesterday?
Right.
That we hadn't seen. I watched that trailer yesterday. It kicks ass. I mean, it looks really good.
Nice.
And so, yeah, I'm excited for that.
It's over gold?
Yeah, well, it takes place in World War II.
Oh, okay.
Basically, a dude's killing a bunch of Nazis.
Okay,
Like
gotcha.
John Wick style, but in World War II.
For gold.
And it's Finnish for gold.
All right, what's next?
Raymond Verada says, I nominate Wong for leader of the Avengers. He can summon anybody. Madison can be his assistant. Wongers, we need to call more Avengers to defend Hulk's bar against Kangers.
Well, I mean, look,
That's hysterical.
as ridiculous as it may sound, he is 5,000 times more qualified to be a leader of the Avengers. He is the Sorcerer Supreme. He has an army of sorcerers at his call. He knows all about the mystics arts and the secrets of the universe. He's incredibly powerful.
Yeah, but didn't he get his temple thing destroyed? Didn't he have any strategy for Wanda?
Well, the planet doesn't have a strategy
yeah.
for Wanda. I mean, ultimately, Wanda had to stop Wanda.
We need more Avengers to fight Kangers. I want to see Madison say that.
Oh, God.
I mean, that would be
okay, look,
hilarious.
that
Madison.
that might have been the best thing in She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Other than, again, the first episode of She-Hulk, I still contend was quite good. I really liked the first episode of She-Hulk. It went downhill fast. But there were a couple of minor redeeming moments in it. One of them was what on paper to me should be one of the dumbest things they could have done. That Madison thing on paper should be one of the stupidest things they did. But I would be lying if I didn't tell you. I giggled my ass off when they did all of her
and
stuff.
she
with
was
Wong.
great. I mean, she delivered it. And the fact that they actually developed a friendship.
Yes.
Like that was the best part.
Oh.
Is that the two disparate people coming together.
And what
being
was it they were
friends.
watching? Was it The Wire or was it The Shield? I can't remember which one it was they were watching. Oh,
I thought it was Ally McBeal.
well, no, that was earlier in the
right.
when they were watching the bar. All right, what's next?
Sean Miner, or is it Kiki? Just watched the Godfather trilogy as well as The Offer for the first time in the last week. Awesome. Can I ask which one of your guys' favorite Godfather quotes are? Mine has to be Michael telling Fredo to never go against the family again. So great.
Yeah, well, I mean, Then there's another Fredo line. You broke my heart, Fredo. I know it was you, Fredo. You broke my heart. I mean, that's powerful. Then, of course, you get the third one. Is every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in. You got to walk up to a bada bing. You blow over your fancy suit. There. I mean, that
Michael in Godfather 2 when he says, "If history has taught us anything, it's that you can kill anyone."
I mean, and this the first one is so. It's just
actually it's if history has taught us anything, if anything in this life is certain, it's that you can kill anyone.
You know, I love you, but you can never ask me about my business. I mean, they.
It was an abortion, Michael.
It's the greatest films of all time.
This Sicilian thing, it all must end.
I gotta watch number 2 already.
And some of the lines I can't repeat.
Right.
Like especially like with the producer who ends up with the horse head in his thing. I cannot repeat half the lines he says, but his lines are pretty freaking memorable.
Why did you tell me you worked for Corleone, Tom?
Why did you tell me?
So good. He's never going to get that pot.
You know what? To me, one of the most profound scenes in the Godfather franchise is in the second one when Tom has to go to the prison to basically explain to the guy,
Oh, yeah.
hey, look, because we family business demands that you die, but we can't get at you in here. So we're going to need you to kill yourself. And we're going to take care of your family. We're going to make sure a lot of things are taken care of.
Frankie Pentangeli.
We're going to need you to kill yourself. And he was grateful. Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Please extend my thanks. And so he kills himself because the Don order. I mean, it's like that kind of epitomizes the power of the Godfather, right? Oh my God, I could talk about the Godfather all day.
Family had a lot of buttons, Senator. I mean, it's good. All right, let's your little game.
Let's do one more. What's our next one here?
Big Cookie says, "Hey crew, will there be an after show for Severance season 2? I watched week to week for season 1 and always had trouble finding post-game content. Would love to theorize with you guys about the weirdness of this show."
I believe we will be doing, because I think that it has gathered a big enough audience. I think Severance has now caught on enough that a lot of people are looking forward to season 2. So yeah, I am planning on doing a after show for Severance season 2.
Sweet.
All right, guys. And that'll do it for today's installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much for being here and making this show part of your day. Big special thank you to all of our channel members who sent in those questions. Number 1, because you gave us fun things to talk about. But number 2, by being channel members, you supported our channel. And all of us here, thank you guys so much for that support. Want to let you guys know a little bit later this afternoon at 3 p.m. Los Angeles time, that's 6 p.m. New York time, we will be having an open mic, Ask John Anything. So come on back and join me for that. I hope to see you guys there. And until tomorrow, guys, for all of us here, Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett, back there has been Ray Ora. On the controls today has been Taylor in Jonathan's absence. My name's John Campea. Thanks a lot for being here, guys. And until next time, my friends, bye-bye.